So we now have a couple of followers. If you look up here, you'll see that I've got 2 followers. Now you can actually set it so that when you get a follower that you get an email to tell you. So go to notices and you can set your notices to say different things. Nudge me if I haven't updated in 24 hours, which will send a text to your phone if you've registered a phone. Show me @replies to the people I'm following. All @replies, @replies to the people I'm following, no @replies. That basically means, and I'll show you how to do this in a moment, that if you're following somebody, if somebody sends a message on Twitter, and it's kind of a personal message but one that everybody can see, they will put the @ symbol before the person's name, and then they will write the message, and Twitter will turn that @ and the person's name, or username that is, on Twitter, they will turn it into a link so that other people can click through to it. You might wonder what the point of that is. Well, another good way of finding people interesting to follow is to watch your current followers, and if they're interacting with somebody briefly, or they send a message to somebody and it's not a private message, it's one that you can see, and they've used this @replies thing, then you can click on that link and you can see if you're interested in them and maybe follow them yourself. But this is actually saying, do I want to see all @replies, only @replies to the people I'm following, or no @replies? I usually go to the ones I'm following. Again, it's something you can play with if you like. New follower emails, it's automatically set to be emailing you when somebody starts following you. I keep that on actually, because sometimes people follow and I don't see who's following me for a while, but then I'll look at the emails and think, oh, I know that person, I'll click through, see what they're doing, and maybe follow them. Direct text emails, email when I receive a new direct message, and I'll show you direct messages in a moment as well. Again, that's your choice as to whether you have that switched on or off. I'm going to leave it switched on. Do you want the email newsletter? I already get that through my other account, so I'm going to switch it off, but it is useful because Twitter tells you a few things about what's going on. So we just save those. Go back to home. So this @ thing, basically you see Stephen Fry using it here. I now have 2 followers, so I can either use it to one of my followers or I can just do it in general to somebody. So look, I'm following myself, and also Twittit has obviously picked me up very quickly as a new person. But say I wanted to send a message, I wanted Lisa Hartwell, as in my main account, I wanted it to pick it up. And you might send @messages for a number of reasons, maybe because they've already engaged you in conversation and you want to reply, or because you think there's something of interest to them, so you want to make sure they pick it up and they see it, which particularly for people who have a lot of followers, they might not always see the stuff that you're twittering, even if they're following you. But certainly if they're not going to see it. But if you send an @ message and put in their username on Twitter, Twitter will, in a moment when I send that, they will then turn it into a link like this, and you'll be able to click through. So I've done that. I've put the username in. It's already showing me what I'm doing, and I want to send a message to Lisa Hartwell saying, I found this great video, I thought I found this great, let's go back again. Oh, gone too far. Okay. I found this great website I thought you'd like, and then you add the website. Now sometimes Twitter will shorten these for you because some web addresses can be very, very long. There are other ways of shortening it, but I haven't written much, so I'm going to, this is very much blowing my own trumpet here. twitter.com/blog. So say you wanted to send that to somebody. Now, don't do this all the time. It's a nice way to sort of get yourself known and engage with people, but if you do it too often, it just looks like needy and spammy. Particularly if it's your own website you're sending them to all the time, then that definitely looks like spam. But just occasionally, if you think something will really interest somebody and you want to get their attention on it, you can send the app message. And this is what some people use Twitter for. A lot of people use Twitter to chat. They use it almost like it is instant messaging, and they use this all the time. Personally, I don't like that, because if I'm following people who are doing that all the time, it gets really difficult to follow and you're not part of the conversation. So if I send app messages to people, I like to make it broad enough so that anybody else following me can look at it and think, oh, that's quite interesting, I'll see what that is. Or, you know, they feel like they're part of the conversation still. So, and you click that and it updates. And now if I were to click through to there, you can see this is actually my proper Twitter stream, and this is my normal Twitter account. So, you know, you might click through and think, oh, quite like her. Yeah, she's got a nice friendly face, she's smiling, she's a bit sweaty looking. Yeah, I like what she said, she's interesting, I'm going to follow her. So then you click follow. And now I'm following Lisa Hartwell, which is very odd. So that's another thing you will see. Now, if anybody sends you one of these @ replies, you will see it here. So if you haven't seen it in your Twitter stream, if you're not following that person, if you click on @ replies every now and again and keep an eye on these, you'll see any that begin with @IamGeekGirl. So any that are directed straight to you, you will see. Now, another thing we've got here are direct messages. You can only send direct messages to people who are following you. So unfortunately, if you want to send a direct message to somebody and they're not following you, you cannot do that. So at the moment I can only send them to 2 people. But say I've been following Lisa for a while and we've been engaging in you know, various things, and what we want to say to each other is perhaps just going to bore everybody in Twitter, or maybe I want to send a friend something really personal and I don't want everyone on Twitter to see it. Then you go to direct messages, you find the person you want to send it to, you say, hi, how are you doing, are you really okay, or just being brave. I mean, that means nothing, but you know, that's the sort of thing you might send to somebody. Click send, and once it's been sent, when they click on their direct messages, they will see it in their inbox. You will see it if you click on sent. You'll see all the direct messages you've sent. If you want to get rid of them, if you want to clear it out, you just click delete this message and it will allow you to delete it. So that's a couple of the ways you can interact with people as well. And finally, favourites. If somebody tweets something that you really like the look of, and you think, wow, I want to keep that, I want to be able to find that again, which of course, you know, sometimes you can't do, because the thing with Twitter is that it's instant. You can search back however many pages you like, as I just did there. I clicked on the older. You can click on newer to get to the first page. Click on older. You can keep doing that and check back on things, but eventually it's going to disappear and you don't know if you'll ever see it again. And it may be something you think, well, I'd quite like to be able to go and have a look at that properly at a later time. Or you might say that it's really useful and you'd like to look at it again, or you'd just like to save it somewhere. Well, all you need to do is click on the star and favourite this update, and once it's favourited, it will appear in your favourites here, and other people will be able to see your favourites. So if you save something really useful, somebody else thinks, oh, I wonder what they've saved, and they come and find it. Well, they might find something useful in there as well, so you can save it there.